Hi all, Marco O'Hare here for We Life Betting. On my own again, because I have had a bit of a dose of man flu and I'm trying not to infect any of the team. So back on my own with three more picks from the Football League. Quite a decent week last week, two wins from three. And actually the game that let me down, Blackburn Leeds, leads me quite nicely into my first bet, which is the game between Leeds and Millwall. Of course, trust Leeds to pull out their first away clean sheet of the season in that 0-0 draw at Blackburn, but it was a good week for Neil Warnock. Ended those boos and jeers in the FA Cup game against Man City with 4 points from 6. They're now just 6 points from the playoffs and 13 games to play. It is achievable. I'm not sure whether they will. There's a lot of decent teams in and around that playoff punch, but they're making a little bit of progress slowly. And to get their fans behind them, they should be in with a shout, especially at home. They've been playing very, very well. 7 wins from 8 now at Ellen Road. Of course, Cardiff, the runaway league leaders, the only team to stop them winning in those last 8 matches at Ellen Road. And overall, it's 10 wins from 16 at home in the League 2. And if you take out the top 3 in the league, actually, it's 10 wins from 13 home matches for Leeds. And in 7 of those were actually to 0 too. So they're certainly pulling out the results, keeping clean sheets and picking up 3 points when playing at home. And that's what I expect at the weekend. They're playing Millwall at home. It's 11-10 for Leeds to beat them. Millwall, of course, our opposition, stopped their own rot with a win against Middlesbrough in midweek, away at the Riverside, which on paper looks like a superb result, but when you see how poorly Middlesbrough have been playing recently, then you realise you might take a slightly different view. They'd actually lost 5 on the trot beforehand and were beaten 7 times in the last 10 matches now. Their away record isn't actually too bad, but recently they've lost 3 of the last 5 away and 4 of the last 7 going back a little further. It's going to be a real grudge game. It's going to be quite feisty, of course. A Millwall fan convicted of racial abuse to El Hadji Diouf recently. So there's going to be a lot of spice, a lot of tension between the two teams. But I think at 11-10, Leeds can't really be ignored at that price. Moving on then into League One, and it's a bet which is probably going to sound very similar to what I had last week, actually. It's the game between Milton Keynes and Preston at Stadium NK. Preston, of course, did us proud last weekend in the double chance market at Swindon, and that's exactly what I'm going to do again this week when they go to MK Dons, because it's pretty easy to explain why. The Dons have been in wretched form in League One, just 2 wins from 10 now. They've plummeted right down the table into the bottom half, actually, and the most recent winless run is now standing at 7, and counting coming into this clash. They've drawn 3 on the spin, but before that was 3 consecutive defeats, and quite frankly I'll be open-mouthed if Carl Robinson keeps his job at the end of the season. They've only kept 2 clean sheets in 14 league games now too. 3 defeats in the last 4 at Stadium MK. Hardly ideal for the visit of Preston, who are starting to find their feet since Graham Westley left and Simon Grayson took charge. Of course, 2 games since he left. First game they beat Bournemouth, high-flying Bournemouth at the time, the Cherries. Beat them at home, where they've been so poor this season. And then, of course, last week went away to Swindon and got that draw for us. And it's a way where they've been performing quite well for us. Or for themselves even. They've been a big winner away from home. Only lost 6 of their 16 away games. So this bet of Preston double chance would have won in 10 of their 16 away days. Of course, Preston double chance means we're backing Preston to win or draw, not to lose, and it's 4-5. So 4-5 Preston in the double chance is my League One pick. I'm very happy to take that price. I thought it would be a lot shorter. And moving into the final game in League 2, it's another 4-5 shot. To finish this week, the game between Cheltenham and AFC Wimbledon. I know a lot of people will be looking to jump straight onto Cheltenham. They'll see a team riding high and have been very good in the last sort of 18 months, 2 years in League 2, and Wimbledon, of course, struggling at the bottom of the table, trying to escape relegation. But Cheltenham have actually only won 1 in 5. They've only won 2 in 7, and worryingly now just won 3 in 14. It's actually seen them slide right down to the bottom of the playoffs. Whereas Wimbledon are making progress under Neil Ardley. Just 2 defeats in 9 games now, and that's why I think there'll be a bit of a tough nut to crack for Cheltenham. So I'm going for the under 2.5 goals in this game. I'm not a big unders backer, but I think there's plenty of stats to back this up and plenty of reason to go for it. I mean, 4 of Cheltenham's last 5 at home have seen unders bank. If you delve a little further, it's 7 from the last 9 at home, or if you prefer, it's 8 of the last 11 games have seen under 2.5 goals. We mentioned Wimbledon's resilience. That can be seen in their under stats as well, because 4 of their last 5 have gone under 2.5, and 5 of their last 7 too. That will do for me. It's 4-5 and under 2.5 goals in the Cheltenham Wimbledon game. So Cheltenham Wimbledon under 2.5, 4-5. Preston double chance 4-5 at MK Dons, and Leeds 11-10 to beat Millwall. Good luck.